What's up guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another speed build. For today's video, we are in the brand new town of Nordhaven and we are building not only one business, but two businesses on a single lot. And I am so excited to go through this with you guys. Before I get too deep into today's build, I would like to take a second to invite you guys to leave a like on this video if you do find it enjoyable in any way. And subscribe if you have not already. I do a lot of different speed builds from houses to community lots and everything else in between. So definitely subscribe if you are interested in seeing more. And comment down below what your favorite part of today's build is. Maybe even what your least favorite part of today's build is. I really would like to hear from you guys and feel free, let me know what you would like to see me do different. I am always open to suggestions. With all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's build. So like I was saying, this is two businesses on one lot. Now it looks like three different buildings. I did that just so that it could blend in better with the world of Nordhaven. And as you can see, the buildings in Nordhaven, they're kind of like, I guess it's like a Scandinavian theme, right? They're very colorful, very like boxy, and they pop out and just a lot going on. And so I really wanted to make this business fit in with the whole world around it, and so I tried to make it look like different buildings put together, and I also made them different colors and very colorful. I love these colors together. The green, the peach, and the yellow, they just look so good together. Right now I have like brown windows and a brown door. I changed that. I do white windows with a white door, just looks better, pops out better, and yeah. Oh, and I don't think I told you guys what the businesses are. So it's not only a pottery studio, but it is also a daycare as well. I kind of figured that your Sims could come here and take pottery classes, shop for pottery, or, just make their own pottery. Whatever it is that they decide to do, they could do it while leaving their children at the daycare, and so they don't have to worry about their children maybe having sticky fingers and stealing something, or maybe having butter fingers and dropping something. I mean, I know that is a huge concern with children in any sort of store, especially stores with a whole bunch of breakable objects, and pottery studios are just that. Everything is breakable. And so yeah, I kind of figured having those two businesses together made a lot of sense. And I also put an upstairs apartment. So this is a small family business. The wife owns the daycare part of it, or at least runs the daycare part of it, and then the husband runs the pottery part of it. And they also have twin infants, and that's kind of where they got the idea of opening not only a pottery studio but a daycare as well. They figured, it makes so much sense. I mean, the wife could homeschool their kids and watch their kids instead of sending their kids off to some daycare that they don't know, right? They figured it would be so perfect to open up their own daycare studio so that she could watch their kids and homeschool their kids once, they become children. And she could also watch other people's kids for a price, of course. And then the husband could do his dream of owning his own pottery studio. So that's kind of where I was thinking with this, and that's a little bit of a storyline for the Sims. And I am working on the floor plan right now. I kind of went back and forth on where I want the bedrooms to be and which bedroom I want for the parents, and ultimately I decided to have that very end bedroom be for the twin girls. Right now we only have one crib in there, but that does change. I figured that's such a big room, and it just, it's cute. I love decorating nurseries for twins. It's super cute. And so I decided to make that one for the twins. No reason really. I mean, it's covered in windows, right? And so it made more sense to have the twins there so that I could decorate the parents' bedroom however I wanted to do it, whether I wanted a TV on the wall or a computer or whatever. They had more wall space. And then they also have a giant, and I mean giant, bathroom upstairs here in their apartment. I guess I could have cut it in half and made it half like another bedroom, but I really wanted them just to have like the twins. Obviously, if you download this and you do have your family move in and they might grow and they need more space than just that one extra bedroom, then you could totally like split that bathroom in half, or even a little bit less than half for the bathroom. And then the other side could totally be a bedroom. I mean, that would be such an easy fix, like no problem. But what I end up doing is putting like a platform in there, and the bathroom actually it turns out super cute. So I'm super excited for you guys to see it. Right now, I'm just placing like different wallpapers and different furniture and everything that I think I'm going to want to use up here, just so I can get kind of an idea of where I'm going. And I really wanted to use the new furniture, but there's only a new love seat. And if you guys are a returning viewer of mine, then you know how much I hate using just a love seat, and how I hate the fact that the Sims team, they're so bad about putting just a love seat or just a 3-seater couch and not a matching set. And that is so aggravating. Like, how hard is it just to put a matching set in the game? It shouldn't be that hard. So what I had to do was use a base game chair, couch, living room set instead. It's not ideal by any means, but it did the job at the end of the day. As of right now, I ended up putting a transition in because you might notice we're on a smaller lot. The lot that I started off on was super big. Like, once I did the exterior of the build and then I did the floor plan on the inside, I realized, honestly, the lot was a little bit bigger than what I needed. Now, once I got later into the build and I started doing the daycare, I realized I probably could have stayed on the larger lot, but it is what it is. There is no turning back now, so I had to make do with the smaller lot. I realized I could have used the larger lot and made like a really big playground area, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of too late. So what I ended up doing was, on this lot, just have this little area where the patch of grass is. I put a fence around it, and then I put some play set stuff for toddlers, and I put a mental table for the children, and of course whatever the toddlers have, the infants can use as well, and a bunch of different toys that kids would like to play in. I figured this was the outside play area. Now, it is very small, and you might be noticing, well, this isn't just base game and the new expansion pack, is it? No. It's also has the toddler stuff pack involved as well, but it's only base game, businesses and hobbies, and then it is the toddler stuff pack. But if you don't have the toddler stuff pack, it's really not a big deal. You just won't have this slide here. I really think that's the only thing. And then I used a couple rugs from that toddler stuff pack, and then that dollhouse right there. That's all. So if you don't have the toddler stuff pack, you could totally just replace all of that, you know, those few items, and then it's like no big deal. For the most part, it's really just base game and the new pack, which is something that I always try to do when a new pack comes out. I really like to make builds that only consist of base game and the new pack. I don't like to integrate a whole bunch of the old packs until I got a few limited pack builds out of the way. I mean, it just makes the most sense. You can see what you can truly do with the new expansion pack if you do just use the base game and the new pack. So that is something I really love to do. And right now I am placing different landscaping features on this lot that I think I'm going to want to use, and I pretty much just keep it how it is to this point when it comes to the landscaping. I put a total of 3 trees on this lot, and honestly, that's pretty good. I mean, for this size of a lot and how big the building is compared to the lot. And then I put those hedgerow bushes all around it, as well as those really pretty yellow flowers. It's kind of like a hedgerow yellow flower set. I don't know what it's called, but I love them. I think they're super cute. And then I'm putting flower boxes on some of the windows. I decided to do something a little bit different with that. I usually put flower boxes on every single window, but I decided, why not switch it up a little bit and put flower boxes on only some of the windows. And I thought it turned out pretty interesting, actually. And now we are inside, and I am placing different things in both businesses that I know I'm gonna want to use. And right now we are in the daycare area, and I am placing like a little seat for the daycare teacher, aka the wife of the house. And then I put different like pillow seats in front of that chair. It kind of looks like a story time circle with the bookshelf behind the chairs, and I think it looks super cute and super realistic for a daycare. I can just picture the mom slash wife, the owner of this business, sitting there and reading to all of the children, whether they're children, infants, or toddlers, or anything, in between. I don't know what's in between those, but whatever. You guys know what I mean. And it just looks so cute and realistic too. And I'm just really trying to make this room look super fun for the kids. And I really wanted it to look like a real daycare. And I think I did a pretty good job at the end of the day. Right now, I am pulling out some of those new fairy lights that we got in the new pack, and I love how they're all different pieces that you can put together and really be creative with it at the end of the day. And then I'm pulling out these like baby nursery pictures, and I'm putting it on top of the bookshelves. The fairy lights are just barely over those pictures, and I think that looks so cute. It gives it like a little like realistic touch. And I also pulled out the picture. One of those is new to this new pack, and it has like a raccoon like mixed with a dinosaur or something. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I guess it has to do with some of the new lore in this pack, and I'm not too familiar with that at this time. I haven't really played the gameplay of this pack yet. I did a lot of building over the weekend, and so I haven't actually played it yet. I need to take some time and actually play it because it looks so fun, and I just really need to take some time to do that. But right now, I actually am adding a mini fridge with a microwave on top and then some high chairs right next to it. This is kind of like for snack time and stuff like that. I mean, no daycare would be complete without a little snack time area, right? I mean, these kids are known to get hungry randomly, and if, people are paying you a service, you can't not feed their children, right? So I figured it would be such a cute idea to put a mini fridge in there and the high chairs. And yeah, I mean, whether they're toddlers or infants, they could both go in the high chairs. And then if you have children here, they could just sit on these pillows or stand. No, I'm just joking. They could sit on the pillows. There's also a break time area for like the pottery studio staff, but the children could sit at that little break table as well, no problem, And then on top of the microwave, I actually added some like paper plates and like plastic cups and napkins, and I thought that made a lot of sense, and I thought it was super cute. And now that I'm thinking, once I mentioned those cups, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of a heart attack. I was like, oh, is this more than just the toddler stuff pack? But no, those plates are from this toddler stuff pack, so we're fine, we're safe. This is only 2 packs that I've used, and really mainly just the new pack though, so keep that in mind. Toddler stuff, you could probably see and tell which stuff is the toddler stuff pack. And yeah, so like I was saying, I did put some plastic cups and paper plates and napkins here on top of the microwave, and I chose the swatch that has like, I don't know, I think it's a void critter, but it reminds me of Stitch off of Lilo and Stitch, and so I love that swatch. I always loved Stitch when I was growing up as a kid. Like, Lilo and Stitch had just come out when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved that movie. And another detail that I thought was super cute to have in this daycare area is the broken lamp. Like, how much sense does that make? I just kind of figured, I mean, I used it more throughout this build, but I figured here in the little toddler daycare room, that broken lamp, has a little story behind it. That was probably, you know, a lamp that the husband made for his wife, specifically for this daycare. And one of the kids one day was, you know, running and not pay attention, doing what kids do, and dropped that lamp. And the wife was so upset. Obviously, the kid did not get in trouble. It was an accident, but the wife was so upset because the husband made it just for her, and he surprised her one day and glued it back together, and she was so happy. And so now she learned her lesson, and she put it up on the bookshelf way up high that it's safe and it's not in any sort of trouble. It's not in any sort of danger, should I say, of a child knocking it over once again. And I'm sure if a child does accidentally knock it over, the husband would totally fix it again. Another part of this room that I think is super cute and like really realistic is that they have a pet goldfish bowl. So I really wanted to add that goldfish bowl in the daycare section. I figured that made a whole lot of sense just because, I mean, it's like the class pet, you know, that's kind of where I was going with that. I would have added like a hamster or something instead if we were using unlimited packs, but that's part of one of the other stuff packs. I think it's like, what's that one called that nobody likes? My First Pet Stuff, that's what it is. It's part of My First Pet Stuff. And so yeah, I was like, you know what, that goldfish is just as good, and it probably makes more sense. The kids don't have to touch it and get their hands dirty, and they can take turns feeding the fish. It's perfect. And so yeah, I thought that was a really cute touch. Right now we are over into what is going to be like the nap time room. I have 3 toddler beds right now, but that does change because I realize it's going to be more than just toddlers. The reason why I was thinking just toddlers at first is because I thought of the name of the building before I started building. And I really wanted to name it Pots and Tots for some reason. I don't know why. I thought that was just a really catchy name. And so I figured at first it could be, you know, just for toddlers, and I thought I would be able to limit the age group, but I think it only ranges from infants to children. And so that is when I realized, you know what, I am going to have to make this daycare between the ages of infant and child just to make it more playable. And it was a lot of children that was spawning actually, and so yeah, I just really wanted this to be as playable as possible, and so that is when I decided to delete some of the toddler beds. And so I placed a bed for each of the age groups. I placed one for the children, which is like a bunk bed, then I placed one for the toddlers, and then I placed a crib for the infants. So definitely has everything you need for any age group. Right now I am trying to lay out the pottery studio. And like I said, this is not only a place where your Sims can shop for pottery, but they can also make their own pottery as well as take pottery classes. And right now I have the whiteboard at like a slant, and I really enjoyed the look of that. But when I went to playtest, my Sim was not able to do a lecture, and so I had to switch it around a little bit, and it's really just up against the wall. It is not slanted. That's the only thing I had to change. And so yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that I did playtest that, because I absolutely hate when I don't playtest for whatever reason. Either I'm lazy, if we're being honest, or I just forget, and then I post it on the gallery, and then later I download that same build and I come across an area that is not playable, and that really aggravates me, and I feel bad that I did that, because then I know whoever downloaded this build has to make some adjustments to my build, and I don't know, I feel bad, because the whole point of downloading lots instead of building your own is so that you don't have to do any of that. And so I really try to make an effort to playtest my builds before I download them on the gallery or post them on the gallery, which leads me to my next subject, This is actually already available on the gallery. It's been available since like Saturday, I think. I just couldn't wait to post it. And I really like to post like lots that I build on using some of the new pack features. I like to post it as soon as possible just so people can enjoy it right away rather than waiting for me to post this video and then post it on the gallery. I figured it was no big deal to go ahead and post it early. And I also placed a mailbox on both sides where the doors are. There's two separate doors. I'm sure you guys realized that already. There's one door leading to the daycare, and then there's one door leading to the pottery studio. And of course, there's doors leading to both areas as well. Like, this whole lot is very functional when it comes to getting from point A to point B, wherever you're trying to go. It all kind of just blends in together. And I absolutely love that about this build. And that was a feature that I really tried hard on when I was doing the floor plan. I really wanted it to blend well together. And I think it really does. I mean, when you go to the pottery studio, you have the bathrooms right there, and you have the little break room area where the kiln is. I think it's the pottery kiln, or you know, where you bake your pottery basically. And then through the other door is where the stairs are, and the stairs leads to upstairs. And the same goes for the toddler area, the daycare area. You can go through that door that's in the sleeping nap room, and that leads to the hallway that has the stairs, which leads to the room where the break room is, and then that leads to the bathroom. So everything leads to each other. Nothing is cut off. And so that was really important for me to get right in this build, and I really just wanted it to be as playable as possible. And honestly, it really is. I play tested in here and it works so good, and I'm really happy with the final outcome of this build, and I really hope you guys are as well. Right now we are putting in the decorations for the pottery studio, and over here is like a little table. I figured this is where everybody could grab their pottery supplies, whatever the pottery supplies are. I'm really not a pottery expert. And so yeah, I don't know the terms to use, but I think I see some like brushes and some little like knives that you can use to put little like designs into your pottery. I'm just remembering, you know, when I used to do pottery back in like kindergarten, right? That's the last time I've made pottery, but it does look super fun. I would love to do it as an adult, but I don't know. I never thought of it until now. And then I also have some like pottery cups and plates there, and then I have some books as well. I figured the pottery plates and cups are kind of just like examples. And then underneath this table that I have here, I put a piece of like broken pottery there. I think it's like a broken vase or something. I thought that was a really good idea. And then I also came across like an incense burner, one of the cute incense. Oh, it's an oil burner, not incense burner. It's an oil burner. And I think it's so much cuter than that incense burner. The incense burner looks just like a traffic cone. And I pull it out later in this build, so I will show you guys what I'm talking about. If you watched my tattoo studio, then you know what I'm talking about. That incense burner looks just like a traffic cone, especially the orange swatch. And I honestly can't stand it. But that oil diffuser is so cute. I love it. We are not done with that classroom area quite yet. I do put more decorations. I put some curtains and just some more stuff around in there to make it look, you know, prettier and more used and all of that good stuff. But right now I am over into like the main lobby area. I have like some tables and chairs. There's a coffee table. There's a love seat. I love that love seat, by the way, especially the swatch that has the blanket on there. And I absolutely love that they added some swatches that has the blanket but also doesn't have the blanket, and I love it. I didn't use it in the upstairs apartment because it doesn't have like a matching 3-seater sofa, which is so aggravating, but whatever. At least the love seat is cute, so I could use it for things like this where you need it in a smaller area. Perfect for tiny homes or bedrooms or anything like that. And then I place some of the single seater, like not recliners, but just like a seat, you know, next to it. There's a bunch of seating right there. I figured if there's a spouse waiting on their significant other to pick out a piece of pottery so that they can go home, or if they're waiting on someone that they're picking up, or someone that they're waiting for somebody. They might be waiting for somebody that's taking a pottery class or waiting for someone shopping, whatever it might be. There is an area there that they can sit at. And then you see I placed a whole bunch of shelves and I put a whole bunch of different pottery pieces on those shelves. I figured that is the area that people can pick out pottery. They might not be into making their own pottery, and so they just want to choose it themselves. And so that is the little area they can do it at. And I placed a whole bunch of different pre-made pottery pieces in there. There's a couple of like gardening pots, and then I placed some incense burners, I placed some candles, I placed the oil diffusers, I placed like this raccoon piece that looks like he's doing some extracurricular activities. Let's just put it that way. It's not appropriate for me to say, so I'm not going to say it, but yeah, he is holding something questionable, and I really am wondering what that is. It looks like a cylinder piece of glass. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. If you guys know what he's supposed to be doing, then let me know down below, because I'm really curious. I probably could have read the details to figure it out myself, but I didn't. So yeah, let me know down below what he's holding. I would really love to know, really, honestly. But anyways, I am placing other things in this part as well, like this table with the laptop on there. That is the brand new laptop, by the way, and I chose the swatch that has like stickers on it, and I think it's super cute. And then it's on a table that is actually a bar table, and I had to place a bar stool there, which is, you know, not what I was expecting, but I actually really enjoyed the way that it looks. It really looks like, you know, that is where the husband sits to check people out when they are ready to leave, even though technically I think people pay their self on that little iPad there, but he could keep watch to make sure people are actually paying, right? And then he could use the laptop for whatever other business needs he has, or maybe he just wants to play a game. Whatever it might be, he could do it there. And I also placed some more pottery pieces on that table, like right there in front of the laptop. There is so much extra space there that I really didn't know what to do with until I figured out I could totally put some smaller pieces there. There's a couple of smaller sculptures I put there. I placed some more incense burners there. You know, smaller pieces like that people could choose from. I figured that was the cheap area. This right here, if you're broke, this is for you. But if you have some extra simoleons to spare, that stuff in the back cases, that's for you. That's the expensive stuff. That's the bougie stuff, right? But yeah, there's some cheap stuff here too, if that's all you can afford. Which that's where I would choose from. I would choose the cheap stuff, if we're being honest. But yeah, I am now placing some different decorations. Oh, I do have to point out, look how goofy that looks. So I read that vase could hold a flower, and so I pulled out a pack of seeds and I opened up the pack of seeds, and if you know anything about the Sims, it's not actually seeds, they're flowers. And so I put a chrysanthemum, whatever that flower is called, the yellow flower, inside of the vase just to see what it looked like. I'm like, okay, maybe it's gonna look super cute, kind of like that singular rose in that little vase from the base game that you can unlock. I thought it was gonna look like that. No, it did not look like that at all whatsoever. It didn't look like that. It looked so stupid, in my opinion. It was like such a big vase with one singular little flower in there. It just looked so goofy and ridiculous, and so there was no way I was going to leave that there. But yeah, I figured I'd let you guys know what I was thinking there. And I also pulled out one of the new phones that came from one of the new quests the one that just finished the Back to the Future or Back to the Past, whatever that's called. Here is the traffic cone incense burner, by the way, guys. I hate that thing. I think it's so ugly, but I'm using it anyways because it's new. It's just so not as cute as like the oil diffusers, but whatever. But anyways, yeah, I'm using that brand new telephone that came in with the Quest, and that's not usable, I don't think. I think it's just like, you know, decoration, but I figured that made sense. They have a landline here at the business, and when Dad's sitting there at his computer, he answers it. And then I have the book there as well. I figured he's writing down whoever purchases things. I don't know. He's writing things down, maybe some bits and pieces of information that he's thinking about, or maybe ideas of pottery that he's thinking about. Whatever it is, he has a little book there to write it down. And then over off to, oh yeah, I placed a stereo there. It's just the residential wall speaker so that you can choose whatever music you want to play inside of this build. And I also placed like an ottoman, a little bench area, and a separate bookcase over on the other side where like the classroom is. And yeah, I mean, that is it for that area, guys. I think it turned out super cute and very playable. And here is that same raccoon with the questionable cylinder that he is carrying. Just let me know, guys, what is that? Because I have something else in mind that is not appropriate, so I'm not going to say. But yeah. You guys probably know where I'm getting at with that, but we'll just leave it at that. We are now over into the area that leads outside to the back door, but I figured this was perfect to have like a little break room, so I put a table with some chairs there. I put a cork board. I figured that is where they put all of like their employee, you know, the information that employees need to know, like the labor work laws and everything you find in real life on corkboards in offices that you work for. I figured that is what that corkboard is. I really wanted to make it look realistic. And then I put a milk container there with a burglar. I figured that was such a good idea. And that reminds me, I did remember to put burglar alarms in this build, and you have to put it at every single door the burglar can go in, and so I put it on every single exterior door. And we are doing the bathrooms. The bathrooms are very simple down here. We have the toilet, we have the sink, we have the mirror, which I love that sink and mirror combo. They are perfect for each other. I'm sure they literally were made for each other. And then I put some toddler potties in here as well, since this is also a daycare. The toddlers need to go potty too, and they can't go potty in that big person toilet. And so I put some toddler potties in there. And I chose this, I'm pretty sure I chose the white swatch at the end of the day, but I put it right there next to the bigger toilet. I love to do that in my builds if I'm able to squeeze it in with each other like that. It just looks super cute. I could just see the little toddler sitting there like, I want to be just like mommy or daddy or teacher, whatever. I want to be just like adult Sims and use the big boy toilet, but I have to settle for this little toilet here. I don't know, whatever. We're over into the nap time area, and like I said, I did end up removing not just one but two of the toddler beds. I put a crib and I also put a bunk bed there for the children. And yeah, I think it turned out okay. That's not the best, you know, room that I've done, but it turned out pretty good. It does the job that it needs to do, and at the end of the day, that is all that counts, right? Anything extra is just extra. But we are upstairs now. That hallway that's there, that's pretty much just for employees, I think is what I listed it as, which kind of, I guess I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. You guys can change it if you need to. But there's nothing special going on in that hallway whatsoever. It's really just a hallway, and I didn't want it to leave it completely blank, and so I ended up adding a wall plant there instead. It's one of the new wall plants, and honestly, I think it's so pretty. I love that new wall plant. I can see me using it all the time. But yeah, we are over into the living room of the upstairs apartment, and I pretty much placed a lot of the furniture that I am going to stick with. And so now I'm just going back and adding like different decorations that I really want to use. But I did actually, unfortunately, lose some of my recorded footage, and so there's some decorations up here in the living room that you didn't see me place, but for the most part you pretty much seen me place it. I did change one of the sofas from the pink to the green. It's kind of a pink and green combination in reference to the outside of the building. I kind of wanted to keep that same color scheme on the inside, and I think it turned out super cute. And the whole kitchen I switched to be on top of a platform just to make the floor plan a little bit interesting. And then I put some dividers there. Those dividers are new in this pack, and I think they're so pretty. I love these dividers. I can see me using them all the time in a lot of different ways. And then as far as the kitchen goes, you did not see me furnish the kitchen as far as like the decorations, but I really just put a microwave, and then I did put that new family cookbook there next to the stove. Or it's next to this, yeah, it's next to the stove. I thought that made a lot of sense. And then I put one of the new teapots, and that's really pretty much it. There is no dining table in this build, but there are stools at the island, and so I figured that's where they eat at. They probably typically eat in the living room though. I feel like a lot of modern age people do that now. But we are over into the bathroom, and right now I have 3 robes here, right? I am going to add a second little small robe. I figured there's mom and dad, and then the twin infants has their own robes as well, and I sized down the robes that are for the infants just to make it look like obviously it's for infants. They're small and cute, and I just love to do that for some reason. And I also was able to fit a tub as well as a shower in that bathroom, which is not surprising. That is like a huge bathroom. And yeah, and then in the hallway, it's nothing special. I put a plant, and then I put a couple of picture frames there as well. One of the picture frames has like a set of them, and it's new. It's one of the newer base game updates, and one of them has like a infant in like a field of flowers, and I think it's super cute. But then another swatch has like an adult sim, but what's weird about it is that it looks like her arms are missing. I don't know, it's like kind of creepy. I'll have to point it out if I do a zoom in on it, but I don't think I do. But anyways, it's kind of weird. If you are in your game as you're watching this, go into the buy mode and pull out the newer picture set from one of the new base game updates, and find the swatch where you see an infant in a field of yellow flowers. It's really not hard to find. And then look at the adult sim in that picture frame and tell me it doesn't look like her arms are missing. It kind of is blending in with the background, like it's weird. But yeah, I left it just because I thought the infant in the field of flowers was so cute, and so I really wanted to keep it. And then next to it, I put the raccoon. So I guess there's a picture in the base game called like Jerry or something, or I think I don't know if it's actually called Jerry, but I think Lil Simsy has an ongoing joke with her community on calling it Jerry, and it's like a portrait of a guy, right? Well, they included a new portrait of that same Jerry, but with a raccoon head instead. I don't know. If you guys know what I'm talking about, like this video and comment down below, Jerry. Comment down below, Jerry, so I know you guys get my reference. But anyways, we finished the master bedroom already. It's really nothing special. I put a bed in there. I did place a platform because the dividers downstairs was clipping into the room upstairs, and so I had to do something about that without changing the dividers, and so I just placed a platform. And I love doing platforms anyways, so I was very happy to do it. And then we have a dresser in there as well as a computer table, and then I end up up moving the chair that I have in there, and I place a painting easel there instead. But we are over into the infant's room, and like I said, this is for twins, and typically I have cribs just up against the wall, but I really wanted to be different this time. And so I ended up placing them like vertically or horizontally next to each other, and they're in front of windows. Like, it's almost like how beds typically are placed. That's how I place the cribs. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. And so yeah, I just really wanted to do something different with this nursery. And so I decided to lay it out a little bit differently. And then I did include a couple of bookcases in there with the swatch that has like a castle on it. I almost thought that nursery was a little bit princess themed in a way. And so I also put like the dollhouse that is, I think it's supposed to be a castle. It's the castle dollhouse. Oh, there it is. Tell me it doesn't look like she has no arms. It really looks like she has no arms, guys. But anyways, yeah, I really wanted this nursery to be like princess themed. And so I have the princess castle dollhouse, and I have the bookcases with the castle on there, and it's very, very pink in this nursery. And then I also use the new wallpaper that has just been added in the new pack. Oh yeah, I came across that wall phone too, so I wanted to put it somewhere. But yeah, I'm using the new wallpaper in the new pack, and it has so many flowers on it, and I think it's so cute. I not only used it in the nursery, but I used it in the living room as well. Can never have too much of a cute wallpaper though, in my opinion, especially if it's new to the game. But yeah, that's it for the interior, guys. We are now on the exterior, just doing some final bits and pieces. And right now I am pulling out some vines from the debug menu, and I don't know, guys, this might be a little bit too much to you, but I really liked the way that it looked with the vines instead of just blank wall. I don't know if it makes sense or not. You could totally delete it if you don't like it, but I didn't have a whole bunch of windows there, so I needed to add something, and vines was it. That is all I could think of. And so I ended up doing that. Hopefully it's not too much. And there is that stinking incense traffic cone again. I just can't help myself but to pull it out and just look at it. But yeah, I am also placing some of those fairy lights on each of the windowsills. I thought it gave it such a cute look when it was nighttime. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the build, guys. We are very quickly coming to the end. I am just placing some separate stools and tables outside for like a little sitting area outside, just to have something out here on the porch. One last thing that I wanted to note is that I did put a bat in the parents' bedroom right next to the dad's side of the bed. I kind of figured, you know, he's really hearing a lot about these burglars, and he is not going to let a burglar come in and steal anything from his business. So the moment he hears that burglar alarm go off, he is going to grab that bat and run downstairs and beat up that burglar. Alright guys, well, with all of that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Of course, if you did, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe as well. And yeah, I really hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye guys!